Hello, dear friends! I welcome everyone who is watching Sotnik-TV. Today is Saturday, July 18th, 2020, and our Saturday summary show is on. It's 7 p.m. in Moscow. We're streaming live. Apart from mass detentions that followed the street rally in Moscow on July 15th, another detention took place the next day by Moscow Federal Security Service headquarters. This episode seems to be nothing special at first glance. However, there are signs that reveal the truth. Sergei Desnitsky was looking closely in the eyes of police officers. Let's watch what happened next. Why are you bothering the police officers? I wasn't bothering anyone, I was just looking. Do you enjoy doing that? I have the right to do this. Their activity is happening out in the open. You're under arrest. He's being arrested for simply looking at the police. This ridiculous episode illustrates the total disregard for law by the government. Being incredibly dumb, those morons are ready to arrest anyone for no reason and to throw them into jail. Those scumbags have neither intelligence, nor a sense of humor, nor shame, nor philosophy to build something with their lives. They don't know what is legal and what is not. They're only hungry for authority and money. This makes them similar to the supreme gang that is residing in the Kremlin. You pay us for as long as you can, and we protect you for as long as you pay us. So you need to pay us as much as possible for as long as you can. The higher the price gets, the more brutality we use to keep you in power. This is the contract that exists in this ugly circus we call a government. Today I had a conversation with Igor Chubais, a historian and philosopher. A protest rally in Khabarovsk lasted over 5 hours. People were demanding to set free government Furgal and other political prisoners. Will the protesters be heard by Moscow, and what will the aftermath be? I'm sure that Moscow can hear and react to those protests. Suddenly Vladimir Putin announced an unscheduled military drill involving 150,000 men in the far east region of Russia. Beyond that, the situation is getting clearer by the day for more Russians, as more people realize that Vladimir Putin is simply unable to rule the country. They realize he's useless. Even his close assistants say now that during the last decade, the GDP only grew at 1%. The country's economy has been standing still all that time. Russia has recently paid out $3 billion of debt to Ukraine and secretly paid $1.5 billion to Poland. And now Ukraine is initiating several court trials to claim a significant amount from Russian authorities for violating international trade laws and so on. This situation is similar to a child inflating a balloon. There will be a moment the balloon explodes. Who is going to clean up the mess when this economic balloon explodes? So when Vladimir Putin inflates Russia, it's clear that this will lead to a negative reaction. But nobody knows when and where this will happen. We've seen the protests in Shias, Ingushetia and Yekaterinburg, where people were demanding to stop constructing an unneeded residential compound under the guise of a church. And now there's Khabarovsk. The people there act reasonably, efficiently and strongly. They obey the law, even though the law there is not legitimate. In fact, the constitution has been rejected under the guise of people voting for the amendments. So there is no more law there. This confrontation is becoming intense, and I think that Khabarovsk has a chance of reaching its goals. The people there need the support of the other regions. Once people were law-abiding and given rights granted by the constitution, once people all over the country were able to confidently demand fair court trials, they would get what they deserve. Unfortunately, people are unable to cooperate. The protesters in Khabarovsk are heroes. They need to make up their minds and to stand up for their rights. And it seems to me that there is a chance of them achieving the goals they are standing for. During the last year or two, we've seen enough cases when a civil protest led to a positive result. Here's another question I'd like to ask. As far as I know, Vladimir Putin is ready to lift the moratorium on the death penalty. The President administration has prepared a bill that, if passed, will allow the government to revoke the citizenship of any Russian. A whole bunch of new repressive bills are ready for the parliament to adopt them. How strong can the dictator tighten the screws in order to remain in power? There's another important opinion on amending the constitution in Russia that hasn't been spoken about until now. This case is being studied by Venice Commission, an international European organization that legally evaluates certain laws. I can't imagine this organization saying that amending the constitution in Russia is reasonable and legal. The Commission will be forced to declare that amending illegal. The Kremlin doesn't care anymore, as the inner law in Russia prevails over international laws from now on. It means a gross violation of both international and domestic laws. This will raise an issue of Russia remaining the member of the Council of Europe. Russia may get even more isolated than it is now. I assume that the government is building its further strategy upon Russia's total isolation. The country may turn into an island surrounded by an ocean full of extremists. The authorities have just reported they detained a terrorist from Central Asia in Khabarovsk. We thought that our enemies were in the USA, Europe or Ukraine. But it turned out those countries have nothing to do with this. The people in Khabarovsk seem to respect Western democracy, so the authorities blamed some terrorists from Central Asia that have nothing else to do other than attack Khabarovsk. Amid the current situation, the official strategy will further isolate the country. Their decisions will lead to a dead end, as they refuse to use common sense and cooperate with the rest of the world. The only thing they will end up with is a union between Russia and South Ossetia. Let us finish today's show with a short protest video in the northern village of Okhotsk. Every villager took part in this protest. People can't stand the state their lives are in anymore. The situation in the country is so stable that it's hard to breathe. Take care of yourselves, of your hearts and souls. I'll see you in 2 weeks.